Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're talking about the differences between the T6 and the T6.1 and who's better positioned to tell you about this other than Dean at Untitled Transporters. Hi Dean.
How are you doing?
Nice to see you again.
Good, good.
So, I've obviously got a T6.
Yep.
This actually isn't mine, as you might know by the registration number, and a T6.1. So what are the differences? What you need to be, what's good, what's changed?
Yeah. Okay, so it's quite important. It's a topic which comes up to us a lot, and especially with the customers who are looking to make these purchases at the moment. They don't know the differences between the T6 and the T6.1. The T6.1, the one over here in grey, is a facelifted derivative of the T6. Okay, the T6 is the basis of it. This is just a facelift, and they've brought in a lot of new features, safety and design, which have brought it up and a bit more current with the times. Let's look at the front end then of the two, Steve, and you can see they are quite drastically different when you look at the front end, but let's pick it apart and see what they've done here. Starting from the bonnet down, they've gone to the headlights, and the headlights are now a lot sleeker and a lot slimmer, delivering more output, but less clunky, I would say, than the original T6. Moving towards the centre of the van and the grille, this is quite fundamental according to Volkswagen. They've gone for more linear, more horizontal lines across the front of the van to try and give the van a wider look. By having a wider look, they're saying that is the current image that a lot of cars and vehicles are going for at the moment. So they've introduced this and they've got rid of, as you can see on the T6, this large bar which runs all the way across the middle. Now the problem with that large bar across the middle there is it stops a lot of airflow, and it's restricting airflow, which is cooling the engine. So allowing that greater airflow has actually allowed Volkswagen to increase the airflow, but also enable them to meet the Euro 6 guidelines, the emissions guidelines on the engines. So,
But,
go.
I'm being devil's advocate.
Go on.
Isn't that a large bar in the middle, but it's a bit lower down?
It's so much lower down. So we're getting a lot
so
more
that's
cooler.
preventing the restriction.
Of course, it's moving it down, which is allowing the greater cooling to the centre, which is the radiator, into the engine, and all the technical gumph that goes with that, without boring any of our viewers. Moving into then engines, Volkswagen have maintained their really solid, reliable 2-litre engine. However, power outputs have changed ever so slightly. So instead of the 84 brake horsepower at the beginning, they're now a 90, 110, 150, and then the bi-turbo 199. So that's us from the exterior point of view, from the front end, and what the differences are and why. Okay. Moving round, should we have a look at the sides and the back of the van, Steve, and walk around and see what we can see? So the size of the van very much the same. The length, the chassis, everything remains exactly the same. There aren't a lot of differences down the side. They've even kept things like the same load-rated wheels as options. Down the front wing here, we've got a transporter badge. That's to try and make the brand more premium. It's just a current thing that they're running with. And up on the top, you'll notice, unlike the T6, they've got a new aerial up on the top there, and that is part of the powering system for the MIB3 infotainment system. We can talk about that in another video about what that means, but they have got the new 8.5 and 9.2 inch stereo systems in the T6.1 moving forward from the T6. To the rear of the van, there aren't a lot of changes here to the rear of the van. The tailgates and the barn doors remain exactly the same. The rear bumpers are pretty much identical. There are a few very small changes, subtle changes to the rear bumper, but the back of the van remains fundamentally the same. The rear lights have changed on the van. They've moved these forward, and people are suggesting that they've introduced almost like a T emblem or lettering within the lighting. Whether that's true or whether that's just part of Volkswagen's design, I don't know, but I think the skeptics amongst us like to think it's for Transporter. Move inside because it's starting to rain. Inside, Volkswagen have changed the cockpit. They've moved this more in line with their cars and the Volkswagen Crafter. They've updated the steering wheel. It's just, again, there is nothing special about the steering wheel. It's just an upgrade. The only major factor to the Transporter T6.1 is they have moved to an electromechanical steering rather than the previous hydraulic system. The benefit to that is a much lighter steering wheel. It feels more like a car to drive. This has been lifted from what derived from the Passat. So the benefits are Volkswagen have now introduced extra safety features, so that is crosswind assist. When you get hit by a gust of wind, it will enable the van to keep the steering in check. Parking assist, which is the automatic parallel and bay parking, which will be transferred from the cars into the T6.1. Again, and the lighter steering just makes for a much better experience. The design of the dashboard has been brought up to speed to incorporate more storage. So when we look around the dashboard itself, there are pockets located in more places, more sort of little cubby holes and trays where things can be put, angled at a slightly down feature, so if you put coins in there, they're not going to fall out as you accelerate. There's cup holders up in the top of the dashboard and a huge cubby space located up in the top. They are the main features of the interior of the 6.1, which is upgraded from the T6.
So there we are. There's the differences between the T6 and the T6.1. There was actually one of them I didn't know. The steering wheel. I wasn't aware of the steering wheel myself. So thanks again to Dean for spending a bit of time with us again today. If you haven't seen my other videos of the buying guide, I shall pop a link to those here. Thanks for watching. Take care. I shall see you soon.